Hello, Jesse Colton here. Wanted to talk about Path of Exile. It's been my main squeeze because the /Diablo ladder reset cooled down. Path of Exile has had my attention for a little bit of time. This league I've gone the farthest and I've played the most time. I'm not an expert at the game, just wanted to share some thoughts about it. This is a Righteous Fire Armageddon brand Hierophant. It was a lot more difficult to make work than I had anticipated, and I'm glad that I did, strangely enough. So realistically, is this a premier top end meta build? No, but I found something kind of enjoyable about the process of trying to make something new work, which I think this game does better than Diablo 3. And as somebody who's played a lot of action RPGs, the ability to continually improve your character and slowly progress, it felt a little better and a little more interesting in this game than in Diablo 3, mainly because of the ability to buy unusual items. And I'm not doing solo self-found. I mean, one of the things I wanted to do was test out weird stuff, and one of the ways to test out weird things is by testing out weird items. So one of the main complaints about this game is that a lot of the menus are not very intuitive, and as a brand new player, frankly, a lot of things are a huge pain in the ass. You can't change the amount that you're trying to trade when you have a trade window up. There's a lot of UI stuff that is honestly so aggravating. But the reason that I am now pretty attached or attracted to this game is just because of the depth. I mean, you can do anything. If you want to just target the absolute end game and just go for a meta build and just push it all the way to the end game, that's enjoyable in its own right. But if you want to just kind of plod through, which is what I've been doing, it's just as enjoyable that way. Like, there's no like right or wrong. Whereas, Diablo 3, I felt like there weren't a lot of directions you could go. I mean, it literally was just, you push rifts and that was it. Diablo 2, similarly, you grind for runes. Or you grind experience, I guess. But anyways. So like I said, this is a low-life Righteous Fire build, but it's using the Hierophant Ascendancy. Apparently, so I've never played a Templar, absolutely brand new, but apparently this node was nerfed, and it doesn't give you as much extra maximum energy shield. I didn't know that. I honestly didn't know I didn't know anything. I came into this very blind. I've had a very good time with this build, even though it's been off meta. Every build in this game, spoiler alert, you can't really see anything. It's such a graphics nightmare. There's just so much going on. There's so many enemies. There's so many lights and colors, and I don't usually play with sound either. I mean, it's such a mess. I usually play with music, but you kind of just get adjusted to it. It makes it more enjoyable when something kind of spicy happens, because most of the time you have no idea what happened. I would say 95% of my deaths, I have no idea what killed me. I have no idea how I died. I have no idea what did the damage to kill me. And people who play the game a lot, they have a better idea of whether or not their build is going to survive. But also, they probably have a better idea of what actually kills them when they do die. Later in maps, I have no idea when a boss is going to kill me or one-shot me. I go from full health to 0 health. I don't know what happened. You would think that would be a complaint, but it's not. To me, it's just kind of like that's just a part of the game. Sucks to suck, right? It reminds me of Dota 2 when I played Dota 2 heavily. People would complain about all kinds of things. This is broken. This is difficult. This is, I hate when this XYZ happens. All the experts and veterans just say sucks to suck. I mean, for any other aspect of life, anything else where that happens, you would just drop it. Be like, all right, well, that's dumb. I'm going to move on. But this kind of game, it's like you're supposed to be doing this for fun, but at the same time, you want to win. You're like, okay, well, I suck. Then how do I get better? The fact that there's a little bit of reminder of the Dota 2 community, it's just indicative of how deep and competitive and kind of a number crunching aspect of this game there is, you know, it's not just for fun, but it is just for fun. But, you know, video games, like, half of the entertainment is taking things seriously when they don't actually mean jack shit. And yet, you know, here I am during my leisure time, just grinding away, right?
My mana is spent.
Oh. Okay. I'm really glad there's not an auction house. I think I've read some people on the forums talk about how an auction house would make the game better. As somebody who was kind of an OG Diablo 3 player, you just don't know how good you have it. Even though it's bad, it can always be worse. The trade system, I mean. Everybody thinks that, oh, I want to be able to trade stuff easier, but that just means trading becomes even more of a requirement, if that makes any sense. I mean, my experience with Diablo 3 was the auction house was just something you always had open. It was a part of the game. It was like a requirement. In this game, you kind of feel like you don't have to trade. And I know people say, like, if there was I would trade the same amount if there was an auction house. It would just make things easier. Well, would you though? Are you sure about that? Okay, that's going to be it from me for this video. I made some edits, removed out some of the ums, uhs, and long pauses. Let me know your thoughts. I do think I'm going to do a follow-up video at some point. If this unusual build does make it all the way to the absolute end game, I'll probably do a follow-up with more details on what I learned throughout the process, and what improvements I would make if I did it all over again. But yes, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.